myself and crazy Tiana, I would never be able to get my head around.
You don't know where she was at that time. Like she was pregnant.
Was she?
She was pregnant.
I still don't believe that she was pregnant.
Okay, let us quickly talk about The Real Housewives of Lagos Season 2, Episode 3. In case you missed my recap of Episode 1 and 2, please, I have a playlist on my channel. Go watch it, go knock yourself out. So, first of all, before I even get into this recap, I have to say that if you've watched my first and second recap, you would know that I am not a big fan of Dr. Rommel, and I have been stating my little questions and doubts about him, but apparently Dr. Rommel is also a real housewife. I don't know, or he's part of the cast, because he posted it on his Instagram last week, right after I even uploaded the review or the recap of episode 2, and I was just like, wow. So I don't just have to deal with Dr. Rommel he is meeting up with Faith, but I have to deal with him as a cast member. I just thought to put that out there that he's actually a part of the cast. He just came in through, or they brought him through Faith. So yeah, this episode kicked off with Faith and Dr. Rommel meeting up for a dance rehearsal. Remember in episode 1 and 2, they talked about, both of them met up to talk about this Botox party they were planning to have with the ladies. Please, if you watched up until this point, please consider liking this video. It helps a lot, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. So they met up in this episode and in this scene to do this dance rehearsal that they were going to use to serenade the guests and entertain them. And Dr. Rommel was the one leading the dance, and Faith was just following, and she was like, okay, I like it, I like this, and just like, hey, what is going on with these two? But their friendship is actually, well, I say cute, but I mean, you don't find friendships like that. So yeah, we'll give that to them. And after what seemed like a successful dance rehearsals, in their own opinion, they gisted briefly about the event. I mean, the event with the ladies. That's Chioma's yard sale. Dr. Rommel was there. He met ladies for the first time, and he talked about how he felt about the different ladies. And Faith talked about Chioma's supposed lateness. She was 2 hours late. I mean, she came in 2 hours after Tania and Faith had settled in, and she was like, she was really pissed about the whole lateness thing. But the moment Chioma came in and she hugged them and she apologized for keeping them waiting, the whole thing just melted in her heart. And she appreciated that she took out time, and she felt it was important to actually at least apologize to those she kept waiting. And Dr. Rommel was like, oh, that's so sweet, I think I like her, and all of those things. They talked about the decor and the event and whatnot. And later, as the gist progresses, Dr. Rommel said, he mentioned that he isn't really feeling Tania. Like, he tried to be friendly with her. He tried once, tried twice, but she didn't reciprocate that kind of energy. He also said that when he was trying to introduce himself, I was trying to get her name, he didn't understand what she was saying. That I thought she said her name was Titi or something, or Titis and something. And Faith was like, no, you did not say that. No, you did not. No, you did not. And he was like, when he kept asking her over and over again, he made Tania agitated, and was just like, oh, okay. And he stepped back, and Faith was in a confessional. She was like, oh, Dr. Rommel. Like, Faith knows the kind of person Dr. Rommel is, that he can like to poke people. I know he can be extra when it comes to dealing with people. And I'm glad that she knows that about her friend. Because even Dr. Rommel was like, oh, was I supposed to know her name? I mean, who is she? Maybe we should Google her. And he brought her his phone, and she was like, no, stop it, don't do that and all that. I'm just like, you see why I'm finding it difficult to gel with this Dr. Rommel, but we'll see. The next episode, we see Tania walk into her store looking very simple, classy, beautiful, and just immediately she started talking about her book, that she's at her store to meet up with her manager. She has a book launch coming up. She's now a certified author. She has a book that was inspired by her daughter, and I liked that she sold herself. Two persons on this show that I know they sell themselves so well is Chioma and Toyin. You see them at work. You see Chioma at work. You will know about our restaurants, our businesses, our hairline, and all of those things. And I like that Tania, being the new cast, is also doing that, talking about her book, and now everybody knows she's an author and all that. And they know she has a boutique. She's into clothing and all of those things. So I loved that about that these women are starting to really use this publicity to actually sell their markets and really sell their brand, aside from being an housewife on the Real Housewives of Lagos on Showmax, if you get what I mean. I know we met our manager Fadi and they talked about our upcoming collaborations with different people. The friend asked her how her joining the group has been, has she been comfortable, has she settled in nicely? And she was like, yeah, like that although when she went in, she just went in to take stray bullets. I was like, oh my goodness, like she, like the old Caroline, she looking like Caroline allegation, Iyabo and Mariam coming at her saying they remind her of this bitch and all of those things. And she was like, she wasn't even pissed, that she couldn't even be angry at the situation because she doesn't even know this person that they're talking about. And, then she was like, the one person that shocked her amongst all the women would have to be Laurel, that contrary to what she's heard and read about Laurel actually is very sweet and, she's very chilled and she's just giving a very good aura and so much positivity. And I'm like, you would not have said that if you met Laurel last year. This year, this is Laura is in her baby girl positive sunshine sunlight era. So enjoy it while it lasts, baby. Even with the viewers, we are shocked, but at the same time, we are so loving this new Laura we are getting this season. And she was like, she's enjoying the women, she's settled in nicely, everybody's doing okay, and she likes that there is no drama, at least for now. And I'm like, I'm glad you said for now, because definitely, like Laura said, when two or more women are gathered, there's bound to be drama. So, the next thing we see Iyabo coming down from her stairs in her house, and we saw her walk into her sitting room. Her daughter Priscilla was already seated there doing her thing. She was even on a call with a friend, and when she saw her mom walked in, she was quite surprised. And she was like, "You're at home," And her daughter talked about how the mom is barely at home now that she's in love and itched with Polo, and she was like, she's barely at home, she's always at his place. And Iyabo was being defensive in a very playful manner. That, what do you mean? This is still my house now. I'm not married. I'm still surveying him. I'm still putting him under. I'm still observing him, in case he wants to do anyhow. And the daughter was like, "What do you mean by wants to do anyhow? None of you is allowed to misbehave. Now that she has had it, she has a stepsister and a stepbrother. Like, nobody's going to ruin the opportunity for her. Her stepsister is in charge of putting our own father in place, and she's in charge of putting our own mother in place, that the two of them must work." And basically just giving her approval for the relationship going on between those two adults. And Iyabo she was enjoying the conversation, but essentially she was just like, when you're in love and you're just like, stop it, but no, continue, I love what you're saying. That was how she was, and you could tell that she was genuinely happy. She was giggling, all smiles. She was glowing. You could tell that she was in love. The daughter was even saying that when is she moving out? And she was like, I'm not married to him yet. She was like, her mother should move out, or she wants to move into her mom's room and all of this. And they went further. The Priscilla went further to call her brother, that's her elder brother, who is her elder brother, that just to tease their mom together. And the mother was like, oh, he's going to support me, he won't support you. And we saw the son on the video call with them, had a really nice chat, and it was good to actually be let into the lives of these people beyond their personality as a character on the show, and their kids, their relationship with their kids. Even if some people who claim that, oh, they are putting up an act for camera or anything of those sorts, because people can definitely cook one thing or the other. At least, even if it's an act, we love what we are seeing, and we love that beyond the drama and the toxicity that tends to follow these women, sometimes we are seeing the love and the love and the mushy things that goes on behind the scene with their families. And the son even gave his approval concerning Polo, and the mother was kind of trying to like talk to him and see what he thinks about the man. And it was like, that he thinks Polo is a good man, that you can tell by the way he raised his children, and you can tell by the way his children are. You can tell that he's a good person, and he's someone they definitely want to be affiliated with by marriage. I know that scene when it was done, I saw Toyin visit the doctor with her husband, and she's healed, and she has something, an illness with her, the bones in her neck. She finds it difficult to turn. I know the doctor was reading the MRI from the phone, and giving her the report and breaking down every detail on the MRI, and explaining to her that it's quite a critical situation, some bones are compressing or suppressing, something like that. And it sounded very serious. And according to Toyin, gets to a point where she has to recapitulate and, heal. She might have to be on a wheelchair and, not be able to move around. I were let into the emotional part of Toyin, which I really, really appreciated. And like, I don't know if I've said it, I like that this season, we're only 3 seasons in, but we're getting to see these women beyond all the drama that they can bring up on the show for the sake of the show. And she was there with her husband. The husband was there as a support system, braces. And if you see what Toyin or Tiana did with those braces, like she made sure to fashionize it, she made sure to touch it up, she went crazy with fashion on it, and you will not be able to tell that it's a brace. You're not even able to tell that this thing is something that's supposed to make her look not so fashionable. And she was like, she's not going to allow this spoil her fashion. It's going to be on point and all that. And you could tell that she's trying to make do of the situation and just find happiness as much as she can. And I really, really appreciated that she was being open about her health. So in the next scene, we see Laurel and Chioma meet up, Chioma was there before Laurel, and Laurel started waiting and waiting and waiting. And before we knew it, she waited for an hour. I know an hour later, Laurel came in. Oh, my baby girl, how, hi. I know Chioma did not fail to mention that, oh, was it because the last time we met up, I kept you waiting? That's why you decided to repay me with keeping me waiting. And she was just like, no, it's none of that. Like, I just happened to be late today. It wasn't anything like me trying to repay you back for what had happened. I know they sorted that out, they hugged it out, they sat down and decided gisting. And simultaneously, I mean, the way we were shown as Chioma and Laura were having the discussion, Mariam and Toyin too were seated somewhere in a nice garden. Yeah, they were gisting. I meant Tiana, just in case I said Tania. Mariam then mentioned Tiana and Chioma's friendship, and she was like, "Oh, what's that all about? Where are they?" and all of those things. I did not feel to tell to make it known that she doesn't really care much for Chioma, that she cannot call Chioma like her friend. Like if she's going through a crisis right now, she's going through a hard time, she cannot pick up her phone to call Chioma. That she would rather call Mariam, even if they're having issues. Like if she's having an issue with Mariam every day and she has an issue, that she'd rather call Mariam than call Chioma. And that is the kind of relationship that they show, friendship that is nothing too deep. They are cordial, everybody's on their lane and all that. And I kind of respect that and I understand it. Like you're not going to have deep connections with everybody, especially when you realize that you people cross paths all the time. You people are two alpha females, you both of you are egoistic, you both of you like to, mark territory, your personalities are very, very strong. It's better to just recognize that we clash a lot, let everybody be on their lane, but we are cordial. If we meet at functions, if we need to be together, if we need to be civil, we'll be civil, but there's nothing like a crazy relationship or friendship beyond of that. And just as Tiana was saying that, Chioma too was saying it, that she would not call Tiana a friend, because if she was truly a friend, Tiana would not come dashing at her to beat her up. That what would she call that? And Laura was trying to make a case for Tiana, saying, oh, that Tiana was probably feeling a lot of emotions at that time. That remember she was pregnant. And Chioma goes on to say something that just blew me away, and I was very disappointed. I've always said nice things about Chioma on this, in my review, Charlie, the first and second episode, of course. I said those nice things because that was how I saw it and that was how I felt. But just like I was impartial about my reviews of Chioma's personality and her behavior so far on the show, that's the same I'm going to talk about how I felt or how she really acted when she made the statement of, oh, what makes you think Tiana was pregnant? That she doesn't know. Laura was like, oh, she was pregnant at the time. And she was like, was she? And I'm like, wow. As in, Laura was very shocked. That is a statement that Laura would have made in season 1. Laura was very shocked. And I don't even think Laura would have made that kind of statement. I don't think she would have. And Laura was shocked. And even in her confession, she was like, that's so much for Chioma to say, because she is a mother and she's a mother of 2, and she doesn't think any woman will come out to lie that she's pregnant when she's not, put up a show and then come back to say she lost the baby, and she went for that to even make more to better make a case for Tiana. She was like, she was big at the time. Definitely she was pregnant. And Chioma was like, really? She's still the same size. She's still big, so nothing changed. So she probably was lying that she was pregnant. And I'm just like, Chioma, drop it already. At this point, yeah, begin to sound very, very, very. I don't even know the word to use, and I don't want to use very mean words because I don't have mean words to say right now, if I'm being honest. But I just like that is so out of place. That is so inappropriate. That is too much for whatever reason. I mean, if someone goes low by wanting to hit you, you shouldn't go lower than the person by accusing or assuming or saying that this person lied about pregnancy and then came on social media to say that they lost the baby. Like, would she wish such on herself if it didn't even happen? I'm like, Choma, I beg, at this time, at this point, I feel like you're carrying this beef on your head way too much. I know she was like, yeah, that's how she feels about it, and it's not gonna change. It's not gonna change that. If there's anybody she felt like was pregnant last year, it was going to be Laura. And Laura had a long sip of her drink, and she was like, well, in her confession, she was like, well, that's Laura's Choma's business. But she wasn't pregnant last year. I'm like, hey, Chioma, now wow. But it was very interesting to see that despite these two women having conversations about their friendships with different people in different places, maybe at the same time, they had the same thing to say about each other. Although one person had so much more to say about the other person, but you can tell that there's no point forcing a friendship. The both of them, they recognize each other, they know each other, and they're sticking with their opinion and their perception about each other. And people should let it be. They don't have to be mushy mushy. They don't have to be cordial. They don't have to kiss each other's ass. If you get what I mean. So, whilst Laura and Choma were done with that discussion, Tania walks in all smiley, simple, looking good, and they hugged and exchanged pleasantries, and she asked Choma how she felt about Tiana's presence at her yard sale, and she saw Choma was like, oh, she felt like despite the fact that the issue had happened a year ago, she didn't see any need to reach out to her all through that 1 year, and now she makes an appearance at a yard sale, that she just felt like Tiana used the opportunity, knowing fully well that hands were tied, sort of. Her parents were there, her guests were there. It was an important event for her. Tiana decided to come in at that time because she knew that she wouldn't be able to react as much as she would want to. She would have loved to, she would not be able to hit her back or raise her voice or, react in a way that she seems would be befitting for Tiana, judging by the episode that happened between them at the reunion. And I was just like, wow, Chioma, are you really trying to let me know that I've been rating you too high? Because what is all this? But those two women, that's by the way. And, as Tania joins it, two women, I'm talking about Laura and Chioma. On the flip side, whilst Mariam and Tiana were gisting, Faith joins them, and Faith walks in with her bodyguard as always. And Mariam was like, why is this girl here with bodyguard? What's going on? And then, Tiana was like, oh, this one that this guy is coming with bodyguard, meeting me for the first time, aside from meeting like a group meeting. I am coming to a bodyguard. Maybe they have told this girl that I beat people. Reference to Chioma and all that, and the reunion. And she just laughed about it. And later when she was seated, Mariam told the bodyguard that he can go and stay somewhere that, it doesn't even need to be there. And Chioma and, Tiana went for that to say, don't worry, I won't beat her. I know the bodyguard left. I know the ladies sat down, they discussed, and later we saw that Faith was talking about marriage. She mentioned that she got married when she was 19. I mean, that explains why she has an 11-year-old son. Remember, Chioma was trying to ask her age the first time they met because she wanted to do the math of how a lady that looks like herself has a son that is 11-year-old. So, she talked about how she got married at 19. She wasn't a penguin babe. She wasn't a big babe. She wasn't a top tier babe when the guy met him, and it was love at first sight. He swept her off her feet. He didn't care about what people thought about her. He saw her for herself and decided to go for her, and she liked him. And she went for that to say that this man changed her life. This man happened to be her ex-husband. He changed her life, that she has no regrets whatsoever about what happened and how everything happened. That even when people want to curse her ex-husband, she doesn't allow them to, because this person saw how when nobody else was going to call her pretty, and married her and changed her life and reformed her life and touched her up. I know, and I really loved her. I mean, she went further to say that he was a great dad. He's still a great dad to their kids. I mean, now he's remarried and she wishes him well, no bad blood, no hard feeling, no toxicity. And I loved how highly she spoke of the man. I mean, we've not met the ex-husband, we've not met him, we don't know about him, but judging by everything we heard from her, you can comfortably say, "Oh, this man is a great guy," or she has sold him well to us as a great guy, as a good guy. And I want to believe he's such. I mean, or and it could be that she's just a person that sees the good in everybody. But I love that she didn't say anything bad about him, and which a lot of people, both male and female, tends not to do. Like they tends to do, like they will wash down somebody, say a lot of bad things, paint the person in a certain light because you are not just good. I mean, just boyfriend and girlfriend, though, you people break up, they will go and ruin the person to another person. Not talk of someone that you got married to, invested years of yourself into, have a child with. I really love that mentality, and you can tell that that's the kind of person that she is, even with the way she relates with Dr. Rommel whenever he's trying to talk down on the women. Remember the first scene where I talked about him and like how I didn't like that. I was trying to bring down the other women so that it could make Faith feel more of a woman. And I was just like, that's totally wrong. Every woman can own a crown. Nobody has to be a slave for the other. Do you get? So, and you can tell, I mean, that's all thing that she did with that situation. She's doing the same with her ex-husband. I know Mariam told her to say that in her confessional, that she liked that he didn't say anything bad about the man. She didn't talk less of him. And that shows that she's really mature. And I would 100% agree with Mariam. And even Mariam was like, when Faith said she wishes her ex-husband well, Mariam was like, that you wish him well, cause that she were to be in her shoes, she cannot wish him well. She's the kind of person that if we are not together, I want to be happy, but I don't want you to be happy. I wish that you have a miserable life because I want you to keep saying that you lost a good diamond, you lost something good. And that's actually the reality of a lot of people out there. Once they want to everybody to feel miserable because you are no longer together. And that's just insane if you ask me. So in the next scene, Paul visits Mariam at her place, and she said Mariam invited her for brunch. According to Mariam, she would usually have brunch at her place every Sunday. I'm like, okay. So Adiza, Mariam's cousin, was around at also, and I was wondering why she was around. But later on, when the ladies sat down and they started talking, Mariam mentioned that she wanted her cousin to be there because her cousin has a journey that can help her. Talked about how she's trying to have another child, trying to conceive, and her cousin has gone through the same experience. I know the cousin explained that she tried having a child for 8 years, but now she has a set of twin. And even though she had it through surrogacy, basically just creating an episode for women that have babies through surrogacy, or are considering the option, or are feeling like they will get rejected by society. Society will not support their decision of having a child through surrogacy. And I really liked that. This show is shedding more light on different aspects of women that a lot of conversations do not come around every day. We don't get to talk about it every day and all that. And I like that this episode or that scene is going to start conversations and better enlighten people. I know Mariam was like she's so proud of her cousin and all that. And she was like she is also considering surrogacy if that's the only option that would work for her right now, because she really, really wants to have another child, give her only child a younger sibling, because the only child syndrome is real and she doesn't want that for a child. So in the next scene, we see Dr. Rommel go in. He goes to this place for like solo rehearsals, and oh my goodness, that scene, oh, that scene cracked me up. It was sounding like Bridgerton. It was sounding like it was looking like a stage play. It was looking like someone that was being extra. A lot of things were just going on in that scene that was just cracking me up. And I'm just like, Dr. Romeo, I am trying. I'm not going to get used to you. I am trying my best. I'm not giving in to you. I am not going to give in to you. I don't want to like you. I will not like you. But it was a very funny scene to watch. Very, very. So in the next scene, Faith Botox party is here finally. I know Mariam was the first to arrive, then Tania arrived. I know Mariam was talking about how she feels like, she's quite disappointed that there was nobody to welcome her when she got in, nobody to ask her what she wanted to drink, no water, nothing. Everything, what the whole reception was just bland. She's just sitting down there like Kutondo, in her words, looking like a person that was confused. I know Tanya was able to agree with her that it felt very off. I mean, proper preparation could have been done in that aspect into making people feel welcomed and relaxed and comfortable whilst the whole party gets started. Whilst they were still at it, Yabo walked in, and while she was walking in, she was also in a confessional that would look like a barrier. It was just quiet, it was bland, and all of those things. And while she was walking in, Mariam and Tana, they were ailing her. Tana was like, oh, she's loving the resting beach face on her, resting beach face that Yabo is giving. Look at the red hair, and they were ailing her. She was feeling it. But if I believe you me when I say that, whilst Tanya was, um Aileen Iyaba, she was working in Iyabo's confessional. She was like, "Ah, why does this lady keep reminding me of this bitch or something like that?" She was referring to Caroline, referring to Tanya, just like, ha. Now, wow, it just shows you what people can be thinking at the craziest moment. Like, how can somebody IP you and you're thinking of how this person is annoying you because of another person this person doesn't even know? Ha. Now, wow. So, you were still ailing her, hyping her, she walked in, I know they started chatting, I know they continued conversation around, oh, nobody's here, what's going on, no drinks, nothing. I know Yabo went for that to apologize to Tanya for coming strong at her the first time they met, saying she looked like the bitch. She's reminded of Caroline, and she was like, yeah, it's not that deep. I mean, Tanya was like, it's not that deep. She didn't take offense to it. There's no problem. And even in Tanya's confession, she was like, she wasn't angry at that time. She's still not angry. I mean, it's all good. Let everything go and all that. Right after that conversation, Chioma arrives, and they still went over the same complaint. Laura arrives, then Toyin arrives as well, and they were just gisting. And everybody was fuming, everybody was angry at the fact that they were waiting, and there was no even drink. I think later on the drinks came, but it was all like it wasn't welcoming. Nobody to welcome them, nobody to make them feel special or welcomed or anything. 3 hours later, Faith arrives, but you know what her saving grace was? She arrived with her mom, because even Tanya in her comments in her confessionals was like, "Oh, this girl was she was lucky that she worked in with her mom because the ladies were about to go blazing on her." And she arrived with her mom. Faith arrived with her mom. They greeted her, all of those things. And right after that was done, Dr. Rommel walks in with his dance, with the violin, the Bridgerton kinikon. Baba was just twirling and turning and doing orishi. I was just like, hey, oh girl. Even the ladies were taking our bag, they were wild, they were excited. It was exciting for them, it was entertaining, they loved it, they enjoyed it, they applauded him. you know One thing that cracked me up while Dr. Rommel was doing it was like, in his confession, I was like, the secret to this thing is you have to look confident, you have to look like you know what you're doing. I'm like, bro, I can tell that you don't know what you're doing, but the confidence is giving. Even Chioma said that the confidence is just, everybody was trying to mimic the way he was dancing. They were enjoying it, of course. And I feel like that was a win for the both of them, especially for Dr. Rommel. He achieved his aim of entertaining the ladies, and so, after all of that magical, in quotes, magical moment, magical dance, they proceeded into the main building where the main event was happening. Other guests were seated. I know Dr. Romo came down in his lab coat, came down with his model. I mean, called upon his model, and they did some Botox exercises on her forehead and all that. And Laura was very excited because according to Laura, she gets Botox every now and then. It's no news to her. The other women, they were listening, but at the same time, they were just acting like, oh, they don't need Botox and all of those things. I know some of them that had actually gotten it, they were being hypocritical about the way they were judging it, but I mean, they were still open-minded about it. They were asking questions. Tanya asked questions. Yabo asked questions, I think, and all of those things. But Toyin wasn't even ready for any Botox. She was like, she understands fillers, but Botox and putting chemicals in her body system, safe or not, she's not interested. Nobody should put anything into her system. I know they asked questions, like I already said, and they were more educated or properly educated about Botox and what it does and who should get it and what options are available. I know right after the exercise on the model was done by Dr. Rommel, Laura said she wanted to do because he was like, who wants a free Botox, whatever. And Laura was like, she wanted, was like, oh my god, Laura, you don't need it, your face is perfect. But after so many shalaye, the doctor ended up taking needle here and there in her head, her blood was even popping out, and the way Faith was doing her face, very scary. I was just like, are you sure this lady has gotten Botox before? Because she looks very scared and very it felt like an out of body experience for her. But I feel all in all, the Botox party was a success because a lot of the women said they have never been to a Botox party. So I think it's safe to say that it was a success. Yeah, I'm actually Dr. Ramos dancing and all of those things. It was quite entertaining. This episode was chilled, but it looks like episode 4 is going to be filled with a lot of basketballs because Yabo is taking them on his vacation or something like that. And this we saw like an altercation happening between Faith and Yabo, and but fingers crossed, we'll see in episode 4 what happens. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode, this recap. What are you enjoying so far? Laurel, Chioma, Faith, Tania, Iyabo, Mariam, all of the women. Let me know in the comments and I'll also see my next recap. Please check out my other videos as well. I'll be releasing my review of Ijogbon really, really soon. Next, in fact, it's coming up next after this review. So be on the lookout for that.